Tree.
What? I still didn't hear you. Which one?
Tree.
Oh, tree.
Yes.
And then you hit enter, all this thing is coming up, right? But if you do to if you do something like output, so what is happening is only it's taking only this part here. So to circumvent that, it's dead easy. All you have to do is put it in parentheses. Put it in parentheses like that and hit enter. Now if you cat output, you have the same exact output as the one on the screen. This one is who, and this one is ls-l echo. This line is echo, and then the next one is pwd, and tree. It was dead easy. All you have to do is just put this into parentheses. Did you get it, Mirza?
Yes, I got it. You won't believe how much time I spent on this last night. I was going crazy. And
I
it was that
know,
easy.
I know, but you learned a lot. You learned a lot of other
Yeah.
stuff too.
Add all those commands within the parentheses, right?
Yeah, that's it. Nothing else. And then
I'm,
for alias, just put it
I'm
in
not able to
parentheses
hear you
also.
clearly. Your sound is breaking.
My sound is breaking. I hear you breaking in and out. Mirza, are you having a problem with hearing me?
No, I'm good. I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay, so
Good morning, sir. I was not able to attend the class yesterday.
oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, you text me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here. Redirector. So what happened then is the output is redirected in there into the file of the file you wanted. And if you want to set alias, you could definitely set the same way, and then it will redirect out for you. So let's go ahead and set that up. So I'm gonna say clear alias. So you have to put in the single quotes here. Equal single quote or double quote. I think you could still use a double quote also, no problem. And you hit enter here. So alias, if I run Zafar, and there you go. And by the way, you could definitely run two aliases. If you have more than one alias there, how would you run more than one alias? how would I run
You would
Zafar
do,
and Zafar 1?
would we do the semicolon?
Yeah, very good. Zafar semicolon Zafar 1. There you go. You see now how you could build all this thing on top of each other, right? Instead of typing there, you probably have how many commands you have there. So later on, when we'll be doing much more advanced stuff here, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 commands you're just running in a fraction of a second. And if you want to later on, when we will be creating logical volumes and all that, all those things will make sense. Okay, so let's get going for today's topic. So everybody is good about this, right? Word count and all that. If I do WC output and it's telling me there are 17 lines in there, 60 words and 505 characters, and the file name is output. So let me go ahead and remove output, and we still have file 1, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more lines in here. Vi file 1 and colon R colon R colon R, and let's see how many lines we have. Set number. So we have about 26 lines in there. Okay, I'm going to add a few more times. I'm going to do set number. Shift G will take you to the bottom of the line. Okay?
Hey, Mr. Zafar, I have a question.
Yeah.
Remember yesterday we worked on the how to remove the highlight from Linux with
Yeah.
the command that it gave us online. So apparently it doesn't like save.
It didn't save?
No, even when I do the :X and exit out of it, and then I go back into VI file 1, it's still highlighted.
Okay. So we put that there is some other. Did you exit out of your account and come back in there?
Yeah, I've been going back and forth since yesterday. But even I tried it right now. I ran the command again, and I hit the :X and exit out of it, saved and exited. But it's still, when I go back into VI file 1, it's still highlighted.
Okay. I may have to reset both of your accounts, and then maybe it will clear that up. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Mirza. So I'm gonna get rid of everything you have here. Okay. You are having problem too, Aisha, right?
No, it's me. It's not.
You're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
But your directory looks different here. Is that how it looks? Or you should see your name there?
Oh, you can check if you like. Yes.
My wife is also having the same issue.
No, now exit and come back in.
Okay.
I just fixed it. Okay, you all good, Aisha?
Hey, Mr. Zafar, can you do Sabah as well, please?
Yeah. So these two files will be gone, okay? Okay, she's good now.
Thank you.
Sure. So I have a file here, and if I do ls-l file 1, so this is file 1, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do wc file 1, and it has 108 lines, 408 words, 2000 about 2000 characters. Characters means each letter and a space, and this is file 1. So that was yesterday. Today we're going to continue on. So today is August 22nd, 2021. Okay, so the new command we're going to learn is head. HEAD. Okay, what it does is it reads the file but bring you only top 10 lines of the file. Read the file, but output will be by default top 10. Okay, so remember always, so right now in anything, there is no such thing as uppercase or all that in Linux. Okay, so if you see across head in uppercase and like that, just assume it's lowercase.
E file 1, right? WE. Because I cannot.
I'm sorry, what? W what? WE? No, it's WC.
See, oh, okay. Because I cannot see your print properly. It's like blur.
Oh. Okay. So let's continue on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do head file 1. Can't type today. So what it did is it brought you the top 10 lines of the file. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By default, for example, this file has a lot of lines in there. In this case, 100 lines. You don't want to open 100 lines and then see. You just quickly want to see what's on the top 10 lines is showing, right? So what else you could do is you could do head -15. Instead of doing by default 10 lines, it will bring you 15 lines. Okay? And then so on. If you want to do like starting from top, you want to see first top 30 lines, it will bring you top 30 lines. I mean, it's just self-explanatory. Okay, any questions regarding this?
No, we are fine.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Okay, so let me clear the screen. If you don't want to see top 10, you could still do top 5 too. It will bring you 5 lines. Okay, but if you do just head and the file name, it will bring you by default top 10 lines. Okay, what about if you want to read from the bottom of the file? We have tail for that. Tail file 1. And what it does is same thing. Tail. TAIL. So what it does is, this is the bottom 10 lines. So this is the last line, and then going from bottom going up 10 lines. Okay, and then similarly you could do tail -F like 10, or if you want to see only last 5 lines here, or if you want to see last 30 lines, you could do that. Okay, so it's just the opposite of head. Reads the bottom 10 lines by default. You can add switch for the desired amount of lines to be displayed. Okay, so for example, tail hyphen 20, it will give you bottom 20. So now there is one more trick to it. Let's go into okay, there is another command here called okay, I'll show you. There are some log files. I'm opening this into a new window. So I'm logged in as a super user, right? So we'll come to this later on, but at this time I don't think you could use this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do wc var log messages. Okay, this is a messages file that keep tracks of what is happening in the system here. Okay, and then we have 999 lines in there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let me do tail okay, let me log in here and again and see if it's gonna. What log messages does is it will monitor or it will keep the logs messages in your system here. Okay, let me see if this has changed.
The system denotes here as your computer or just the current session that is going on.
Activity, everything in the system activity is happening here. Okay, here you take a look here. This was our last update here, right? Now from here to here, this is the other activity that was going on. It added to this line here. So earlier our WC was, when we did WC, it was 999, right? We had that many lines here. Now if I do WC, we have another 32 lines in here. What is happening is, since this is monitoring the system, the file keep getting updated here now. So for you to be able to see the activity in real time, what you do is you do tail -f var log messages. Okay, this is a special built-in file that monitors the activity here. Okay, so I'm gonna see, do you guys see there here on the left side, whatever activity is happening in the system is gonna record here, but you're seeing it live. So let me exit here and let me see if it's gonna do anything. See, it's monitoring the system here. So the idea is you're using this tail -f to see the activity of the file. This is where the tail command is going to come, because in Linux operating system all the activity is written into the same file. but it writes on the bottom of the file. Did you get it? So now see, I'm going to log in as Zafar, and then I'm going to put in my secret password, and look on the left side here. So there was some activity that is happening here, and then the system is capturing that activity here. Okay, so server 01 starting virtual machine status here, and then successfully activated service, and all these things here. Okay, so the idea here is I'm showing you not this var log activity, I'm showing you what is tail-f is doing. Any questions? You won't be able to do this now because you don't have a root access. Once I give you everybody your own 3 servers, then you could mess around with it. But for now, you use tail-f to see the okay, tail-f to view the real-time activity. Any questions regarding this?
Very good, sir.
What you say, Com?
I said very good.
I did not understand the last part. Can you go over the tail-f command one more time, please?
Yeah. So let me quit here. So there is a special file in here, var log messages. It's sitting into the /var/log/ messages, and this file monitors the activity here, right? So what is happening is it's monitoring the system activity. So if I do tail-f, since I want to see what activity is happening, I do tail-f means follow. So as the var log messages file is getting updated, I could see the activity in the real time. See? Did you see the window moved up? The lines were added. Hello, Aisha, are you did you just
Yes,
saw
I
that?
am listening. I am listening.
Okay, so I'm gonna now look on the left side here, okay, on this window, So I'm gonna say log in here, and whatever that file is being written to in real time, you could see that instead of just seeing the static information. Okay, that's
So
what
this is being updated like in seconds.
Yeah, real time.
Okay. So
Real
we
time
are
means
able to go in our own files or the system's files, everybody else's files.
mostly you use it for system files.
Okay. Jazakallah.
Okay. All right. So tail file 1. Okay. So it will be the same thing. Tail-5 last 5 lines, or tail hyphen if you do 20 last 20 lines. Okay, simple as that. So the next command is sort. So what I'm going to do is sort. It will give you the output in the alphabetical order. Sort the file alphabetically. So let's take a look here. VI file 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete a bunch of lines here, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just for the sake of a demonstration, I'm going to say first A, first line is A, B, D, A, Z, A, F,
T.
I'm going to say G, H. Okay, so I have this in this order, right? So what I'm going to do is sort file 1. So what it does is anything, whatever that letter is starting that line is, it will detect that and sort it out for you, okay? So you have AAA is putting A, anything that is starting with A on the top, then the order of B, okay, then C, then D, and all that. Okay, simple as that.
Okay.
Motion detected at your back door.
Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is there is a command called unique. It's gonna go through all the lines in the file, and then it will remove any duplicate files for you. So if I do unique and file 1, so it should have removed any duplicates for me. So it removed first 2 lines that are starting with A. It will remove that for you. And B is only one there, C is not there, D or A. Actually, I'm sorry. It will remove any lines which are right next to each other. Okay, so now we did sort here, right? But the real, let me just clear this, cat. So in this scenario, what do we have?
But for me, it does not show the alphabets in the front, like A, B, C, D. What did you do for that? It just starting
Yeah,
line.
I went in there and added line A, B, C, D
Oh, okay.
in the file, yeah. So you know what? Let me get rid of this file here. I'm I'm going to create a new file, vi file 1, and then I'm going to add apple, apple, pineapple, and then I'm going to add some animals, cat, zebra, tiger, lion, tiger, apple, so what unique does is anything that is like repeating right next to each other, it will take it out for you. So let me add one more apple here. So I'm going to say uniq file 1 and hit enter here. And then if I do compare to file 1, so on top here between 3 lines, what is unique about these 3? Only apple is unique about these 3. So it removed 2 and then just brought it only 1. And it kept the pineapple, cat. So there are 2 zebras here, so it kept only 1 zebra. Okay.
Hey, Mr. Zafar, I have a question. This unique command, it doesn't overwrite the normal file, right? It
No,
just
no, no,
doesn't...
no, no. Just the output.
Okay.
Output
Alright,
is unique.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's still saving the files in there.
No, it's not saving the file. No.
So it's just deleting and then bringing up only one.
No, the output is filtering out the output. I just did here cat, and this is the original content of the file here. And when I added unique to it, it is filtering it out. What is it filtering it out? Anything which is duplicate here. So there are 3 apples which are duplicate of each other. So it's just keeping only 1. Pineapple is only 1 here, so it's bringing that back here. So it's keeping only 1 here. So down on the bottom here we have lion 2 times, but it's bringing in only 1 time. So unique is what is unique in that line, it will bring up for you.
Okay.
Okay, good. Actually, let me put this in there first. Okay, so now we're gonna just use like a single informational only commands here, okay? So any questions about unique command before I move forward?
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Zafar, one question before you move on. For the unique command, if the full line is the same as the another line, then it will filter it out, right? Other than that, it will just leave it as it is. Like if I had 5 lines that said this is Linux, it would filter that out and only make it 1 line that says this is Linux, right?
No, if the file is the line starts and it's a little bit different in the line, then we'll keep it, I think. But let's take a look.
Then, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Reports or omit repeated lines. So that's a very good question. Let's check this right now. Vi file 1, and I'm gonna say apple is pineapple, Apple is iPhone, makes iPad. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so the entire line has to be same exact duplicate. Did you get it? Removes the duplicate line one after
Yes.
the another. So if I go in there and I do 3YY. So when I do unique, first 3 lines should be only 1. Yeah, there you go. So if you see first 3 lines, these are same exact duplicate of each other, right? So it will just keep only 1 line. So this will help you in troubleshooting and then zeroing in on the errors and all that when you're going through a file that has thousands of lines in there, okay? We'll do that. We'll use all this, towards the end of the class when I'll show you a little bit of troubleshooting, okay? All right, so let me clear the screen, and the next simple command is called date, D-H-E-E. When you type date and hit enter, it will tell you the entire thing here. Today is Sunday, August 22nd, and this is the time. Time is very, very important in Linux operating system. I will touch a little bit on that later. And this is the year, and this is Eastern time. So whatever the time is set up, you could definitely change this here, but let's leave it Eastern time. The reason this is Eastern time is the Red Hat company, they are in North Carolina, so they use Eastern time. So if you get a phone from Apple, by default, Apple Mac time is West, what do you call this? In San Francisco time. What do you guys call their Pacific time? I think, yeah. Unless you change it, it won't. If you have it set automatic, then they'll do it. So I just left it as is, so we're not worried about that later. But time is very, very important, because why would be the time important? Because for example, if you have like this is hours, this is minutes, and this is seconds, and there is also milliseconds. It will go all the way to the billionth of a second. All those things matter. Why? Because of if there is any financial transaction going on, stock market selling off, and all those things are running on Linux. So all those things boil down to very, very important. Date. Okay, so next command is cal. It will show you the calendar, and today's date will be highlighted here, and you could see nice the calendar here, okay? And if you do cal, and if you do cal and the month, and hit enter, it will give you 12 months here.
Cal.
Or if you do cal,
Hey, Mr. Zafar. Never mind.
yeah, if you do cal 12 and then if you give the date 1969, it will give you the calendar 12th month, December 1969. And if you do 1000 AD, it will do that for you. And if you want to go into future here, this is 100 years from now. That's what you're going to see here, okay? What is going to be on today's day in 100 years from now is August 32nd is going to be Friday. Okay, so it's easy. I barely use the cal, but you never know if you need to go backtrack a file when the file was created and all that. You could take a look. It's dead easy. Okay, so now what time is it? Okay. We'll take a break in about 10 minutes. Okay, now the next command is last, L-A-S-T. It will show you the log activity of the users. Okay, this is regardless if you are logged in right now or not. So it will show you activity. Last, when you type in the activity of the user and when was the system rebooted. It shows you two information. So let me see here. I have the complete log activity of who's logging, when, and all that. This is by default. The system does it automatically. You don't have to tell the system to do it. And one particular thing I want to point out is it also monitors the reboot. Okay. So it monitors who is logging in, and it also monitors when the system was turned off and turn it back on. Okay. So here it says reboot, and it was system boot, and then it's give you the kernel information. We'll talk about that later. And that it was rebooted at this moment here. Actually, this is the time the system came back up. So it came back up on Wednesday, August 11th, and this is running since then. And then again, the system was rebooted at this time around. And then it will continue to log the activity of the system, who is logging in, logging off, and all that. So here, like here, you logged in for 32 minutes, Mirza, and Aisha and all this still logged in here, but this is the activity here still logged in. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So about good. 9 people are still logged in here, and this is the previous activity here. You were logged in for 24 minutes, and then here I logged in here, and I was on for 6 minutes here on August 21st here. And if I go even further down here, we could see this was my previous students. He logged in on June 6th, and he was on for like a couple hours there. So I'm not sure how long it keeps the activity for. Let me see here. Okay, so I'm not sure how far back it could go. Obviously, it's not going too far back here. The latest you have here is until Sunday, June 6th. So if I do cal 21, this is where we are, right? And then June 26th is here. So 1 2, so it's keeping about 60 days of information. Okay, so it's keeping a track up to 60 days. I think you could go on and change this around and save it like all the activities going around, but I'm not sure we are doing as much in our environment and in general, production servers, if they are being saved a longer log file. It also depends if you're working for a bank. All the activity would be monitored from the day the servers was built up until the server is decommissioned, is no longer used. So all those things are tracked and saved, and that's done as a part of a security. Okay. But similarly, same thing here again. If you do last -10, you just want to see last 10 activity, you do last -10. That's it. It will show you the activity of the last 10 lines. Shows you log for the user's login activity. It also shows when the system was rebooted. Okay, moving along. Next command is free-h. This will give you the memory information. So the system has about 1 gig of memory here, but it will show you 800 megabytes. I'll explain that to you a little later here. Why is it doing that? So the system is running about 1 gig of RAM, and then this much is being used right now, and 73 megabytes is free. And the cache would be the same as if you add this much and cache, you should probably get this figure here. Okay, and the swap memory, we'll talk about this in a great detail when we come in. Swap memory is nothing but a virtual memory. Okay, this is a part of a hard drive. When the memory is full, it will use the part of a hard drive partially so that the system doesn't crash. But for now, just remember this: free will give you the system memory information. Okay, now so we have a file here, and then I want to see what is the size of this file here, right? So size of the file is du -h and the file name. Du stands for disk usage. Okay, so now the file is saying that the file is using 4 kilobytes here. So the standard for any file, if the file doesn't even have anything in it, it will be 4 kilobytes. The minimum block it's using is 4 kilobytes here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and add something in here to this file so that the file we have is in bigger size here. Okay, so let me copy our var log.
Okay, Mr. Zafar, should we just follow along, or are we supposed to do this as well?
No, this is more informational here.
Okay.
And you
So
just
just watch
practice.
it.
Yeah, you could practice it after the class. It's just giving you information here. Follow along. I'll tell you when to follow along. Okay. But I have everything in here. Just go through this couple times after the class, and you should be good. So I did the size on the file. It's only 4K, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this file a bigger file and see what happens here. I'm reloading this file a few times here so that it becomes a bigger file. So if I do du-h file 1, now the size of the file is 12K here. Why? Because the file has some good amount of content here it's using. So it's using in the increments of 4. It may not be exact 12K, but it's just consider this as a buckets of 4K. So if you have a bucket, if you have a 2K file, what would be the size of the bucket? It will still be 4K, right? What about the size? So it will be a multiples of 4. So to accommodate 6 kilobyte of file size, how many kilobytes it will use? So
4 and 2.
Yeah, so it's gonna be the minimum is 4. So the next minimum would be another 4. So to accommodate 6, how much it needs?
8K.
8K, very good. even though the file will be 6K, it will tell you the size would be 8K here. Over here, I'm pretty sure it's not like exact 12K, but it is showing you 12K here. Okay, so if I double the size again, each time I'm doing R and save and exit, it should double. Oh, it didn't double. So probably it's sitting still at 8K or whatever. Okay, now it went up to 32. Okay, now I have about 2,880 lines in there. Do you know what I'm doing here, right? Each time I go in there, I do :R. If you do Shift:R, it will reload the entire content of the file in the same file. And then if you save and exit, it should double itself. Yeah, there you go. It's to 60K now. So the du command, what it does is it will show you the size. So I think I should explain this a little bit more here. Why don't we take a good 15-minute break and then we'll come back and then we'll continue on. Okay, so we'll come back at 11:48, 11:50. Okay, so break starts now. Okay. Okay, so the du command, du stands for, it stands for disk usage. Okay, and how much the size of the disk this file is using, it's gonna display here. Okay, before that, this is a switch. This is a switch is for -H stands for human readable. And then this is the source. And when the output is, this is the size of the output here, 60K. In computer terms, 60 kilobytes is very, very small size. If it's going to go on to megabytes and all that, that means the file size is kind of getting big. I would say 10, 15, 20 megabytes is not a problem these days, okay? Why do you use this here? Later on, we will learn that sometimes you will get a message from the operations team that the disk is full and you need to get rid of the disk space to make the size available for the application to write again. Okay, so you would come in here and then do du-h and see what would be the size of the disk, and then based on that you will tell if it's your responsibility to clean up the old files or it would be the responsibility for application team. Any questions? Okay, no questions means we're good. Okay.
So with du hyphen h, what is the purpose of hyphen h?
Right here. It's human readable. If I just do du file 1, it doesn't tell you what it is. If you see in here, it will say you kilobytes. Or you could do ls-l. Okay, look at it here. It's saying 58,368 bytes. So when you look at this number, it's kind of big here, right? It's hard to imagine what that number is. But if you do hyphen h, it will give you in kilobytes. That way you could determine. Bytes is way smaller than kilobytes here, but it's showing you in 58,000 here, right? So to circumvent that, if you add h in there, it will give you a good amount of, it will give you good amount of information that you could determine if it's a kilobyte or what. Because 58,000, you don't have to worry about calculating how much 58,000 byte is into kilobytes here. There is a chance of error, you making this, 58,000, you may end up saying, it's close to 60 megabytes and all that. So if you just do hyphen h, which is a built-in switch, it will give you good information here.
Okay, thank you.
Let's look at the size of our warlog messages. It got like 1,000 lines in there, right? What?
Do you have binders?
अब garage में class के बाद निकालता हूँ. Go tell her. दिला जाओ. Turn the light. जाओ जी मैं. I'm in the class. Close the door. Huh?
Airdrop?
मम्मा के पास है phone मेरा जाओ. Close the door. Close the door.
Video.
Yeah, मम्मा के पास है. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, sorry about that. So let me log in as root. Okay, so the size of this file is 192 kilobytes and not very big. Okay, so let's see if the size of the file I could find. Okay, so what is the size of this file here? The size of this file is 9.5 megabits. Okay, if you don't have H there, what I'll do is it will give you like a big information here, the size of the file. 9,704. So it just gives you the number. It doesn't say megabytes, kilobytes, or whatever. Okay, so to determine this, if you put H in there, it will look good on you. I mean, the output looks good and readable by humans. If you do LSF and L to the same file, look at that. The file is going into 9 million kilobytes. No, I'm sorry, not 9 million bytes. So which is going to be very hard for you to understand this. You could also do this here in LSF and LTRH. LSF and LH. Now it says 9 megabytes here. So I didn't show you this command here because you're going to learn on your own. But let's focus on this command here. DUFNH is giving you that much information here, 9 kilobytes. And when you do LS-DU-H, size of that specific file is in 9 megabytes. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, good. Now, next command is top command. Clear the screen. And if you type top, so what top is doing is it is giving you the system activity in real time. You should see the screen is moving on its own. I'm not changing anything. It's moving on its own here. So what I'll do is it will give you the activity which is happening in the system here. Okay, so right now, so the memory the system is using is 807 megabytes. Out of that, 80 megabytes is free, 312 is actively being used, and 412 is in cache. Okay, and this is the information regarding swap here, so I'm not worried about that now. And in here, a total of 197 activity is happening in the background here. So when you turn the system on, that doesn't mean if you're not logged in, the system doesn't have any activity going on. There are a lot of things going on its own. Even the system is just sitting and doing nothing. That's what it appears to us. But in reality, there's a lot of activities going on in the system, okay? And here is the time. And the system is up for about 10 days. So the system has probably restarted 10 days ago. Okay, and 1904. What is 1904? So I think,
Time?
huh?
704. Time, 24-hour time zone, time block.
No, if it were by now, it would have been, 13 hours, not 1904. I think 1904 is 19 minutes and 5 seconds is the average time people are being logged into the system, okay? If you calculate everybody's average time, that's what it looks like. And how many users are logged in? 9 users. Load average is all zeros here. So the system is in perfect condition. There is no problem going on. And 93 or 193 are sleeping. Out of 195 activity which is going on, 3 are active and 195 are sleeping. Okay, and then 0 are stopped, 0 is zombie. Zombie means even after the system, even after the task is gone, sometimes it will get stuck in the zombie mode. Like if Najam quits the system, but sometimes the system still realizes Najam is still logged in. So that's called zombie. After a few minutes, it will clear itself out, okay? So most of the time, you don't have to worry about that. And then over here, it's showing you the CPU activity. And it says 94.7% the CPU is idle. And there is no load on the CPU and all that, okay? Over here, it gives you, like, for example, you have Zafar here, right? Okay, I just quit here. Now it's not going to move. So here I'm logged in as Zafar, but in the background, it tracks my user ID with the PID, process ID. Okay, and then these are 20 process requests. So even though I'm logged in remotely, the system is actively connecting, actively staying in sync with the remote system here. Why is it doing that? That's how it keeps the communication up. And these are the information I tell you not to worry about. And how much the CPU it's using is using 0.7% of the CPU. It's dynamic here. It's changing all the time because I quit out of it. And then how much the memory is using, I'm using 0.6% of the memory. And I've been logged in I've been logged into the system about this time here, 1 hour and 61 minutes. So about 2 hours, right? About right. Okay, so there is a lot of activity here. All these things, most of the time, you don't have to worry about too much about this here, because in the real environment, all these things, the system is well taken care of. They are manicured. Obviously, if you have, running the system to run the financial transaction or stock exchange and all that, you're not going to have something old hardware and software sitting around. It need to be kept up. Okay? All right. So that's the top command. This is just informationally. I'm not going to use all the time. Displays the real-time information about the system. Okay, so the main thing you're worried about is CPU, memory, and processes. And you do queue to quit. Okay.
Quit using queue.
Yeah, quit. Yeah, Q to quit.
But if I'm using Q and pressing enter, it's not getting. It's
Just push Q. Don't hit enter.
Okay. Does it go off automatically or is it just
Yeah,
stay like that?
if it's not moving, that means it has stopped. If you see on the bottom, it's back to the command line. That means it's stopped. What do you see on the
I can
bottom? You
see,
see a name, Najam, and server number.
yeah, Najam server 1 and then Q and the command line, both.
No, you already quit here. You type it again too many times.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah, I can see only the command line. Okay.
any questions or you want me to explain more? Anybody? Let me explain it one more time. Give me 1 second.
Is it a daily real time thing that we have to perform this?
Most of the time, no. But if
Or
somebody
this is only
complains,
for our, yeah, it is only for our knowledge sake. Okay.
no, I mean, no, for your, yeah, you have to know this, and but you will get a ticket from operations team that some kind of server is blanking out or it's not giving you, the uh, the job. Your every job has a system where there is another team who is doing like a monitoring 24/7. Okay, what monitoring team does is all they do is monitor the system, and you as a Linux engineer, if the tickets come to you, what you do is you will work on it. Okay, so let me explain you a bit here. Okay, so let me annotate. So so when you run the command, this part is the uptime, how long the system is being on and all that. Okay, from here. We want to get a different color here. Okay, so this part is uptime. Okay, and this part is number of users logged in. Okay, and load average is average load. So this one is this part is in minutes here. So average load. As long as it stays within like milliseconds here, this is seconds and milliseconds. Okay, as long as it stays a fraction. If this thing comes into like one, it's kind of a thing of a concern. Okay, but as long as you see like this here, it will be good here. So first one will be like 1 minute load average. The second part is a 5 minute load average, and the third one is a 15 minute load average. Okay.
You have 99 subscribers on CM.
Okay.
I'm gonna subscribe.
I'm in a class. Get out of here.
I'm gonna subscribe.
Yeah. And we'll make it 100.
I'm gonna subscribe on my Prodigy channel.
Close. Okay. Now, this line here is a task overview actually. So this is the task overview. So it has 191 tasks, 3 are running, 180 are sleeping right now, and if somebody is stopped, and if there is a zombie task. So very first thing you should look at is if the task is any zombie or not. As long as there is no zombie, you are good. And then move on to how many processes they are running and how many are sleeping and all that. Right now, if you're looking at this is the perfect condition. Okay, and here this is the CPU activity. And this part here, the one below here, okay, so this part is called the memory used by, memory in use.
So all this information is about our own personal computers or the system computers?
This is the computer you're logged into right now, server.
Okay, so my own laptop, I'm getting the information about my own laptop.
No. The remote party you're connecting into.
Okay.
Yeah.
CM reviews and Prodigy can have the same amount of
Okay, now, and this one is the swap. I have to explain you what a swap is a little later on, because there is no other way I could explain you now. So this part is swap in use. Anybody heard about virtual memory?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So in Linux environment, virtual memory is called a swap memory. What happens is the real memory gets full. We'll still have some swap memory so that it will manage the overflow of the memory that need to be used. And then this is the information regarding the user. Actually, each process, when you're logged in, everybody has like each process here. So if your root is logged in, there is a root process and all that here. So these are root is running many processes, and each process has a number to it. Okay, even though root is logged in so many times, it has its own processes here. And this is the virtual memory, and then resources using and all these things here. CPU percentage being used, memory being used, the time. Okay, so the activity is gonna go up and down here. So hopefully this is informative here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a nice diagram and put it in for you guys so that you could understand for during the week. Okay. Okay. Now I want to see how many CPUs I have in my system here. Okay. I do LSCPU. So I have the CPU information here. Okay. So normally the average CPUs a system should have is 4. If you see only 1, that means there is something wrong with the system here. Bring that attention to your team if you see only 1 system here. But right now I don't care. I just kept only 1 so that I have so many other servers I have to manage. So I could add up to 4 though, but it's not necessarily what we're doing here. If you're running like a heavy application, for example, Oracle database or something, then you would need. But for our purpose, we need a CPU. 1 CPU is fine. Okay, so when you do LSCPU, this is the.
Can you repeat the statement once again, that it should be 0 or 1?
No, for our environment it's only 1, but in real time scenario the minimum should be 4.
Okay. And if it's not, then we need to bring it to the attention of the which team? Administrators or?
Yeah, to your own team. Check with the team here why a CPU is only 1. Did you hear me?
I hear you. So that denotes that is it just one person working, or is it
No,
that
no, no. The
more
CPU,
CPUs are
the central
required?
processing unit inside the chip that is being used here. Let me see what a CPU is. So this is the
Sir, I got your point of the CPU. I know how it looks. I just need to ask you is that what does it denote? Is it for the speed, or is it for the information database transformation
yeah,
that
the
we need more
processing. The
of them?
central processor is a processor that processes the information. So we have one here. In real world scenario, average should be 4 CPUs there.
Okay.
So you must have 4 CPUs. In my environment, if I'm running a database or something, I've seen you as many as 32 CPUs in the system. Okay?
Okay.
So, and then it's showing you here the manufacturer name Intel, the body, the CPU family, the vendor ID, and all that here. So most of the time when you are running this CPU command, what you do is you have to just look for, okay, how many CPUs the system have. That's the only thing I'm looking into most of the time. If the system is running slow or whatever.
So in real time scenario, does this CPUs go down and then we have to change the chips or what?
If it's virtual, no. If it's virtual, you should just go in there and add it. Okay, so most of the time that would be done by a different team. But if you end up being a team that adds and builds the server, it's even better. You know, you could go and add that into the VMware or the AWS or whatever you're using. So we won't be able to cover that in this class here because this is just an admin class, and to do all those things here, you must have some level of previous experience here, working experience.
As a beginner, I should not be worried about that, or
Yeah, you know, don't worry about it. Just see LSCPU and then bring it to the attention of the team. Send an email that, hey, we should. Does this system supposed to have 1 CPU or 2 CPU? I'll show you. Probably next week, I'll give you all access to 3 more servers. Everybody will have access to your own 3 servers. So if you have 10 people in the class, then I will provide 30 servers, and based on that, you will have more flexibility to explore around because you will have a root access. Root access is the super user. You could do anything you want with the system here, but not to this system. Probably depending upon how this class is going, I was hoping I start into administration next week, but it might go. Maybe I'll start it next Sunday, the administration part.
Hey, Mr. Zaf, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you gonna teach anything about Ansible in this course later on?
Now that would be advanced class because you have to know how to set up and all that here. But I'm going to show you the scripting and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. I could give you some information to study on your own for Ansible. It's very, very easy. Maybe I'll include in the class here. I don't plan to, but we'll see how the class goes, okay? Okay, now there's a command called which. What is a which command does is, so this command will show you the location of the other commands. Also good indication if a command or application is installed. Okay, so if you type which, what is your favorite command here so far? Anybody?
PWD.
Okay, good. So when you type which PWD, actually this is where the PWD file is executing from. If you type PWD, it gives you the PWD. And if you copy and paste this here, it gives you the, it's, when you type PWD, it's automatically running this in the background. Same like the redirector, right? Redirector, you're supposed to put 0 and 1 for 0 and 1, but for 2 you have to put 2. So it's automatically doing it for you. Same thing with ls. Is actually running this directory here, this file. See, ls. Who? When you type which who, this is what is actually executing in the background. Do you guys get it? What is happening here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too details here. Most of the time, if I'm running a command and it's not available, what I do is which. Like if I want to do Oracle -- version, it says can I find, I'll do which Oracle is not installed. That way I know, oh, this system Oracle is not installed on it, and then I need to install Oracle on it. Okay, so it comes handy to find out if the application or the command is installed or not. Like tree. Which tree? By default, the tree command is not installed. I have pre-installed this command for you. On the servers you're gonna get, it may or may not have tree, I don't remember. But if you don't have it, then I'll show you how to install and all that. Those are into the administration part. So if you ran this, it's the same output, and if you ran this, it's the same output. Okay, so things are getting interesting here, okay? Okay. Okay, another 5 minutes, then I'll wrap this up for today. So the next command, the next concept we have is pipe. Okay, there is called pipe. Do anybody know what key is on your keyboard is pipe?
Yes, it's the one with the I think it's next to the / or the / actually.
Yeah.
It's on top of it.
Yeah, so everybody on your keyboard, look right above enter, and where the backslash is, and it has like a vertical line. It may have, for some keyboards, it may have just one straight line. So on this here, on the virtual keyboard, it has one straight line. But on your traditional keyboards, it may have like a little break in the line. It's a straight line, but it might have like a little break in the line. So that is called pipe. P-I-P-E. Okay? This is a pipe key. Pipe is used for, so you use it in combination of commands here. So you use for primary command, then pipe, then secondary command, then a pipe, then third command. I'll show you what it means. Okay, so let me just squeeze this down a bit. Okay, so this is the primary command. And when the primary command runs, the output of that primary command, you could use the secondary command. And for that secondary command, and then you could use the output. Actually, you're doing the filters here. You're getting the primary command, and out of the primary command, if you want to run the filter, you run the secondary command, and from there you could also run the third command here. So let's take a look here. Let me clear this. Let me see what file I have. I'm gonna do cat file1. Okay, so I have this many lines in here. Oh, this is too many lines in here. WC. Oh my god, got like too many lines in here. So what I'm gonna do is, oh, what is happening here?
You just sent the output to file 1, so now the lines are going to be less in file 1.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I shouldn't have done that. Because it probably didn't have a chance to write it here. Probably this command has ran first before it could have a chance to do it. So let me just copy it here.
Do you think the parentheses would have worked on that command? Maybe that's why it did that, or no?
You could try it. But it's always risky if you're like tailing it, or if you're carrying the same file and then at the same time you're like writing it, it may not have chance to do it. It may have already done this part here. I'm not sure how that executes there. This is the first time I ever stumbled upon this. But if you would have do 2 second any other file, it may have worked just fine. But if I do WC file 1, so I have only 21 lines in there, okay? So
No, the
what,
question of Mirza was that will the parenthesis comes into effect here or no?
no need. I mean, you could try it. Let's try it here and see what happens. Let me just make sure cat it. So I'll have that here. And let's do this. Yeah, it didn't work actually. So if you're doing it that way here, if you're carrying the same file and the same time you are doing it to redirecting that, it just is not working. Okay, so you just have to be cautious about some of the stuff you have here. So I have cat file 1, right? So this is the primary command here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do cat file 1 and I'm going to pipe it, and then I'm going to do grep. This is the second command. Remember we learned grep earlier, and I'm going to grep for zebra. Okay, so okay, I type zerba. So when I do the grep, what happened was the whole cat command, it ran all this command here, and then during that filter it the output was in the memory. The output before it came onto the screen, the cat file 1 ran, and then immediately after that the second command ran into that output, and since we are filtering this down here, is only displaying zebra here. Who is not confused?
So what is the purpose of pipe here then? Because we ran two commands. One is like running the file 1, and the other one is like grabbing zebra.
Yeah.
So what is the purpose of pipe in between?
So you're running two different commands here.
Uh-huh.
So you're running the cat command, and whatever the output is, this is probably the output here. We don't get to see that. And from that output, we are filtering only zebra. If I do regular cat file 1,
So
everything shows up here, right?
Yes.
But I'm interested only in the line that has zebra in it.
Okay, I got it.
So now I'm going to do grep. I'm going to do apple. So it is grabbing everything that has apple in it, even the pineapple, because the second part is apple. Now, then in that, I'm going to do grep apple. If I do grep in the quotes apple, this time around it will grab only that has apple in it. Oh, it didn't. Maybe I'll grab something that has iPhone in it, okay? So do you see what happened here? We did the first command cat. The whole file got cat. Then in there, we only grep for apple. So these many lines have apple in it. And then in there, I only grep for iPhone. So the final result for this entire command is this line here. In reality, it's happening. All this is running in the background, and this is running in the background. First command, this is the first command. Then the second command is filtering this, And the third command, since I added iPhone in it, this is the final remote. So if I run the file, all three commands simultaneously, this would be the output. Let me do who. So I'm going to who to file 1. Now if I do cat, okay, file 1. So we have everybody in here. I see Aisha logged in twice. So let me filter it for Aisha. So I'm going to do cat file 1. Cat file 1. And then in there, I'm going to say grep Aisha. Okay, so since in the file there are two Aishas here, 1 and 2, this is what I did here. Now I want to further do this here and grab for only this one here. I'm going to give just filter out that part here. So it filter out only one line which has PST/4 in it. Why is it doing that? Because we set the command to do it for itself.
So what will be the difference between the shell script and this pipe command?
No. That's totally different. This is just a command. So the second command is dependent on output of first command, and then the third command is dependent on output of second command.
Okay.
First command is full command, and the second part of the command is filtering out to that part. Is filtering out to Aisha. Here are two Aishas. And then the third part is filtering out to this part here. So when you run all three commands simultaneously, this is the final line.
Okay, got it.
So you could play around. I'm going to put it in an assignment so that you get a good exercise out of this. Okay, so I think I'm going to end here. Next week, I'm trying to finish all these basic commands on Saturday, and from Sunday, we'll go into the directory structure and basic history, and then little bit of handing you guys off the servers. I would have like 3 servers for each person, so you could play around with it. Okay. All right, if you guys have any questions, put in a chat, and from there somebody should respond. If nobody responds, then I'll respond to it, and I'll put up the assignment as soon as possible. But even before that, let me put this recording and document online.